Well, good evening, my friends, and welcome back to another episode from yours truly, the Cumberland Outdoorsman. Today, I'm out here practicing with my traditional recurve bow because you know the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, I've got another saying, so does preparation. Preparation makes perfect. And one of the ways that I like to prepare for the upcoming hunting season is to always be on the lookout for some equipment that will give me a tactical advantage in the woods. Now, it doesn't matter whether I'm deer hunting, turkey hunting, or even small game hunting, I'm always on the lookout for something that will give me an advantage so that I can become a more successful hunter. And what I've got here behind me is the new TideWe 360-degree see-through hunting blind, and I know this is a real winner. There are other blinds out there that are similar, but for the price, the quality is way up there, and in terms of conventional blinds, this blind here is light years ahead of any conventional blind. Trust me, I know. I've owned several. Now in today's video, this is going to be a short review. If you want to see the full review, make sure you go to my channel at Cumberland Outdoorsman and you can see the full review. But in today's video, I'd like to answer a couple of questions. First of all, is there enough room to be able to shoot a traditional bow out of this blind? Well, we're going to find out. So let's get in the blind and let's take a few shots. Well, we need to take my bow and arrows into the blind, but before we do, let me point out a few things. First of all, if you notice the camel pattern, it matches perfectly to what we have here in an eastern forest. Okay, and then you'll notice this zipper here. This is a good quality zipper. I'll go over this in the full review. And it has this overlapping double stitched covering to help protect your zipper, okay? And then all the way around the blind here, you've got these brush loops where you can put brush to help brush in your blind. Even down here below. You know, you got things to accommodate any way you want to set up this blind. Now you've got these tie down loops here all over the blind. I mean, everywhere you look, you've got something where you can secure the blind. And the blind comes with tent stakes and cordage that's of good quality cordage. Once again, these brush loops right here, I wanted to show you on the other side. And see how that window blends in with the background? Brush loops all the way around. Easy to set up, very quiet material. All these little details. There, you can put your brush in these loops here to hold it in place. Very accommodating to the hunter. Now, we'll go inside. Let me go ahead and unzip the door. Now look how generous the opening is to this blind. Look at that, folks. Wide open. You can get all your equipment in here. You can get more than one person in here. You could probably hunt 3 people in here. Plenty of room in here. Let me get my bow and arrows. Get them in the blind. We're going to need them. The windows. If you look at the windows here, they have these dog bone loops to lock them down. But then to unlock them, just undo them like that. And listen to these sliders. They're ultra quiet. No more noisy zippers or Velcro, you know. You can slide them in place however you want to. Ample windows. You got 3 on each panel. 3 windows on each panel. Now I'm going to go ahead and close the door here. I don't have this blind secured down yet, but you can see initially that this is a great blind, folks. It really is. Now, as you can see through to the outside. I've got that window open. There's our deer target out there. But it's 360 degrees. All the way around. Now, I brought it out here this evening to try to give you a realistic look in a woodland setting, because this is about the time when game appears. You know, when it's sun's starting to go down, or maybe real early in the morning. Can you still see out of this blind in low light conditions like we have right now? Certainly. If there were a deer to come in here right now, I could see him walking. You know, you can see that. You can see any movement out there. And of course, if you have some windows open, naturally, you can see them more easily. But the thing about this mesh material is it keeps you hidden while you can look outside. You can see them, but they can't see you. And that's an advantage that I wish I had had many years ago. So, to answer the question, is it a see-through blind? Absolutely. This one here in particular, all the way around, all 4 corners. Secondly, it's quiet, most definitely. And if you watch the full review, it's also waterproof. I doused the roof down with a garden hose and I didn't get any water coming in here. So, the third question, can you shoot out of it? Especially with a traditional hunting bow like I've got here. You know, traditional archery is really coming along and it's getting more and more popular every year. So I wanted to answer the question, can you shoot a traditional bow out of this hunting blind? Well, let's find out. Got my target right out there. Let me grab an arrow. I'll get on that target. Right on the money. Dead deer right there. I'm going to reposition in case I'm sitting back here. I'm trying different spots in here. Okay, let's take another shot. There's my target out there. About 18 yards, folks. Got those arrows right in the kill zone. So yes, I can comfortably draw my bow. I don't have to worry about the limbs hitting the top or the sides. I can swing around in here, as you can see. My bow's not hitting anything. I can draw comfortably if I want to, you know. And another thing I covered in the full-length review is if you miss your shot opportunity in this window, look here. You can quietly open the next window. You can either open this one here or this one here. So just pull the sliders down. Put your fingers on the sliders and just support them on the way down. Just slide them right on down. Now, if that deer were to move in this direction, I've got all this space here to shoot through, you know, right through here. And can I shoot through there if he were to move? Let's see if we've got room here. No problem, you know, no problem whatsoever. My bow's not hitting the ground. It's not hitting the top or the sides. So that answers the question. Here we are in a late evening setting, woodland setting, and I'm showing you what it looks like here in the blind. And I think I've answered the question quite well. Can you shoot out of this blind with a traditional bow? No problem whatsoever. And if you can do it with one of these, you can definitely do it with modern archery equipment, new compound bows or crossbows, and most definitely with a gun. You know, you don't need much room to shoot through, whether you're using a muzzleloader or a rifle. Now, another question that I would like to address, it's something that popped into my mind. You know, as hunters, we like to use binoculars because it gives you a tactical advantage, just like I mentioned earlier. So the question is, can I see out of this blind with these binoculars, especially in low light conditions like you would encounter right now? You know, it's late in the evening. This is a time when deer often appear. This is a good time to hunt. I've taken a lot of deer later in the afternoon, and I know a lot of you have. So let's take these binoculars back inside the blind and see if we can actually see through, or if I can see through. I know you can't, but I'll tell you what I can see once I'm in the blind. Okay, my friends, as you can see, it's getting darker and darker out here. You know, it's getting later and later in the evening, and I think I got the fog off of my binoculars. It's still hot and humid. This is July here in Tennessee, so if you ever lived in the South in the summertime, you know what I'm talking about. You know, things fog up like glasses and binoculars and even the camera sometimes. But let's take a look through here and see. Oh yeah. You know, honestly, I can see further out. Honestly, further out with these binoculars than I can with my naked eye. Let me take my glasses off. Maybe I can see even better. Oh yeah, much better. I can see that distant ridge. If there were a deer standing over there on that ridge right now, or moving along, I can see individual saplings and sticks laying across tree trunks. I can see leaves. I'm going to tell you what, it's a question that has not been addressed, but if you think you can't see out of this blind with a pair of binoculars, you need to try it, because this is a game changer right here. You know, if I were sitting here later this evening and I was watching that ridge right over there, expecting deer to come in, I would definitely have an edge on them, because first of all, I can see them further out. And if I have to take a shot, you know, if I want to take a shot, I can easily open that window and take my shot. Yep. No problem. So this is I think it's an 8-power pair of binoculars. And let's look over here. It's a little bit darker over here than it is that way. Yes, definitely. I can see better through these than I can with my eyes looking out there. And I think the reason is because the binoculars are focused on what's beyond the mesh. Okay, your eyes are naturally going to pick up the mesh. That's why you can see objects a little bit better if you move from side to side. It's okay to move because they can't see in. But if there's something moving outside, you can definitely see it. Anything that's in motion. I just saw a bird fly by just right now. Went through there and I was able to spot it. But I think our eyes are accustomed to focusing in on what's right ahead of us. But these binoculars now, I can see what's beyond that mesh much better than I can with my naked eye. So definitely, you can most definitely see through these blinds with a pair of binoculars. Well, there you have it, folks. Another review on a great product, on a super nice blind. You know, I've checked the competitors' blinds, I've checked the prices, and I've checked all of the details that are included in this blind, and here you've got a much better value because you've got more things going for this blind. First of all, the camel pattern is better, in my opinion. It's quieter, it's much lighter, probably half the weight of the competitors' brands, and you have a waterproof roof here. You don't have to worry about getting wet, and you have much better see-through ability in this blind. On top of that, they're less than half the price, and that's the reason I wanted to present this blind to you. Now, the way I see it is there's no need to spend so much money on one of those competitors' blinds when you can take the same money and buy 2 of these blinds, maybe even 3, especially if you use the discount code that I give you in the link below. If you scroll down from this video, you'll see the description of the video. Click on the word more, and then you'll see a blue highlighted link. Click on that link and it'll take you to the TideWe website. Once you're in the TideWe website and you see something that you want, if you want one of these blinds or any of the other products, then use that code and get an additional 20% off. Now that's a great value for a great product. So there you have it, folks. That's the TideWe 360 degree hunting blind out here in the woods, late in the afternoon, and I think we answered some important questions. So thanks a lot for coming along. I really appreciate you watching. And remember, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But also remember this, hit that like button, smash the bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So y'all get out there and enjoy the great outdoors, and I'll see you next time.